Don't let bonking and GI issues thwart your performance goals. A lot of the athletes seem to think that bonking and GI issues are a normal part of endurance racing. This could not be farther from the truth and not the case. These challenges are not normal. In fact, when you know why they happen, you can race without having these challenges. It doesn't matter whether you have a summer race or races, or you're initiating training for a full event like a marathon or an Ironman. The heat creates a vicious cycle many endurance athletes know well in the form of bonking and GI challenges. This is because your body is not meant to consume a lot of calories and physically perform at the same time. And here's why. It all comes down to blood resource allocation. You see, when the temperature rises, so do the demands to thermoregulate. The higher the heat index, the more your body has to shunt blood from your muscles to the skin surface, with a percentage of that blood plasma being lost in the form of sweat, all to prevent you from overheating. However, at the same time, this requires a sharp downregulation of blood to your GI tract, which limits your ability to digest. Your GI tract is essentially on sleep mode during exercise in warm to hot temperatures. Even before GI challenges make themselves evident, the lack of blood flow combined with significant intake of calories causes an immense amount of oxidative stress to the villi of the epithelium, which are the cell structures lining your GI tract. Remember that. You're already causing damage before you notice something. And this is precisely why GI issues get worse over time when you're trying to perform better by increasing your caloric intake. Add to this the hormonal shifts which make you ever more dependent upon carbohydrate-based energy sources, and you have a downward health and performance spiral. There is a much better way, one aligned with your evolutionary heritage. Through optimizing fat metabolism, you actually reduce your dependence on external fuel sources, thus reducing your risk of GI issues. And this is where we can help. For over 2 decades, we've been pioneering and innovating metabolic health and performance by focusing on developing the energy substrate your body is meant to harness for aerobic energy. Fat, your own body fat. Our work first led to the Western States study, which then led to the FASTER study, a breakthrough study which demonstrated that humans are capable of burning a lot more fat and burning that fat at much higher intensities, race level intensities, than the science previous to FASTER suggested. The problem was FASTER limited itself to focusing on the ketogenic diet aspects as the reason for the performance top fat-adapted athletes were achieving. They were actually doing VESPA and OFM in the real world of training and racing. We have now gone beyond FASTER and have data showing athletes are capable of metabolizing over 1.5 grams of fat per minute, right up to their VO2 max, but in that sweet spot of racing intensity. As you can see from the graph, this graph I'm showing you, this fundamentally changes the fueling equation, eliminating the need for massive amounts of external carbohydrates, thus minimizing the risk of GI issues. More importantly, this and other data from our metabolic testing corroborates our premise that nature shaped us to harness body fat as our principal and major aerobic energy source, a premise which runs contrary to the modern science of pushing a lot of carbohydrates, which is essentially sugar. I've just spent the last week as a sponsor of the Western States 100-mile endurance run focused around this epic journey across the Sierra Nevada mountains from Squaw Valley to Auburn. My admittedly biased takeaway from Western States Week was that bonking and GI issues were the central topics, whether it was in conversations at the expo, with runner crews during the race on Saturday and Sunday, or post-race. These were the reasons why a particular runner failed to perform to their potential or DNF'd. Conversely, those who were fat adapted and or using Vespa were able to navigate the distance, elevation, terrain, and heat with steady energy and little to no GI challenges. We even had one runner incorporate Vespa into their race without testing it in training, and here's what he and his pacer have to say in this impromptu video I shot at the awards ceremony. Sorry about the audio being bad and the background noise. And talk to us like, you know, they say that you're not supposed to try anything new on race day, but tell us what happened.
So we met Peter at the booth and got some samples, and I've tried it before and liked it, and really haven't implemented it like I wanted to. And yesterday into the evening, I just alternated it with other nutrition factors, and just like it really was a game changer. And you know, like Peter said, you know, just drink water and just stay hydrated. Stay hydrated through the day and the night, and even with the recovery today, I can walk. I am not as sore as I typically am after a 100-miler, and it's going to be implemented into my training and racing regimen.
Good, Mr. Pacer.
I'll attest to it. You know, I've been crewing and pacing Chris for many years now, and observing him in his training leading up to, going through, and then the post-recovery. This, quite frankly, is the best recovery I've ever seen. You know, for his run to finish this race in 23:13, and to be standing here running around, not limping, no cramps, no pain. I've never seen him finish a 100-mile race in this condition. And I'm a little angry because he took all my product. Okay, it accomplished what it was meant to do. So yeah, absolutely game-changing, and I'm sold.
If you want more information, you can find out more in this free report, Conquering the Terrible 3. Click here to download and get started on your first step toward experiencing metabolic freedom.